सर्वधर्मस्थापकस्त्वं सर्वधर्मस्वरूपकः आचार्याणां महाचार्यो रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. We are studying Sri Ramakrishna, the great master, second part, as the spiritual aspirant or struggler or as sadhak, and we are in the 11th chapter, name of the chapter being Sri Ramakrishna's sadhana according to tantras, and we are toward the end of that chapter where Saradananda Swamiji is describing the various different puja, the forms of goddess which Thakur saw. Puja is Kali only, but how many forms Thakur saw of Kali, and how many other auxiliary worships he did, and how many other visions and experiences he got, that topic is going on. And we have you read that? Okay. 27 para, we read again? No. Okay. 26th para, we are in the ha. 26th para. Going back. Go back. I missed everything. We had read up to para 22. And we have to start from para 23. And para 23, he heard the anahata dhvani. Anahata dhvani. What is the meaning? Any sound which you produce is vibration of something. And vibration is produced when we hit something. When we hit the bell, the vibration starts. When we string the string, then the vibration starts. When we sing and the accompaniment is tanbura, inside it vibrates. Our throat vibrates, then the sound comes out. So all the dhvani which we hear is of this type, which comes after something being beaten. Now, behind this is the sukshma dhvani. The sukshma dhvani is that which does not come out by beating. And that Thakur heard. In many books on yoga, or those who go by those paths, this anahata dhvani is mentioned. And Kabir's famous song, Bajata Anahata Dhol, as if the drums are being beaten, but without being beaten, anahata dhol, that is coming out. So like that is that sound. At that time, the master heard arising naturally and unceasingly everywhere in the universe. So this dhwani is going on in the universe. From that there is a spotavada. That means from that dhwani only the world has come out. Vibration, the word comes out. So these sukshma vibrations in the Christian Bible, Swami Vivekananda said the book of John, first some 5-6 verses contain all that is in Christianity. And there John says, in the beginning, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Word means sound. And nothing was created which was not created from the Word. That means no creation comes out without that dhvani. So that dhvani, which is behind this entire universe, going on in the entire universe, that is what Thakur heard. So where the mind has reached? Beyond and behind this universe. The great Pranava sound. Pranava means Omkar. Now Omkar also, Omkar is such a sound which is we produce as gross. But there is a Sukshma Omkar, still Sukshma Omkar, still Sukshma Omkar, till it reaches Brahman itself. So that is the beauty of Omkar. That Omkar is available in the gross world to us. But if we catch hold of it, Patanjali says that japas tadartha bhavana. While mentally chanting, if we meditate on the meaning of that, it reaches Parabrahma. By uttering the sound Brahma, Brahma, it does not lead us to Brahma. By uttering the other names of Brahma, it does not reach Brahma. But Om is the nearest of the Brahma. Om itself is gross to subtlest up to Brahma. That is the beauty of Omkar. And so, which is the aggregate of all the different sounds of the universe. You want to know this? Okay. How the sound system starts and what is the first sound? When the sound arises in the sound box, wherever it is, maybe in the navi or kanta, from there the sound starts. Now, as it comes, if you allow it to come out of the mouth without touching anywhere, without giving your sound box or mouth any shape, I'm specially telling this. How it will come out? Uh, uh. I'm specially telling this because the Bengali almost does not have this O. They write O and they say O. So O is a particular shape given to that. We joke at the Bengalis. Non-Bengalis will joke at the Bengalis that whenever they speak, they keep a rasgulla in the mouth and then speak. So everything becomes a round O like. But the original sound is O, according to, not according to Sanskrit or anything, according to the natural. Here it is given natural. So as it comes in, let it come out. In the Gita also, Aksharanam Akarosmi. So I am the not O, amongst all the letter syllables. So that is the beginning of sound. And now what are other sounds? The English alphabet is very, very poor. 26 letters, they cannot represent 50 or 52 sounds which are available to the human throat. So, how are these ka, kha, ga produced? Ka is produced, the sound a, while coming out, touches some portion of the sound box. The, it touches the tooth before coming out. Pa, It touches the lips before coming out. And every sound has a meaning. We have seen in Thakur, when he used to pronounce Ram, he used to see the actual fire. So, Ka means water, Ka means space, there are meanings. Now, now, we want to produce a sound. How? Which touches every part of the sound box before it comes out. If every sound has a meaning, and we have seen touch. Now this touch itself is 5 types. Soft touch, hard touch. Now I talked of Bengalis. Now I have to tell the Tamilians especially. Not all South Indians. Not this difficulty does not arise with Karnataka or Andhra. Keralites trying to copy Tamilians, there arose this difficulty. In Tamil Nadu, we have 5 sounds in each place. Tamil Nadu, only 2 sounds. Ta, na, ka, na. And we ask them how other sounds are produced. In the place, they pronounce like that. For example, Gita. How? There is no ga in Tamil Nadu. So they say, this akara is turned into aikara in Tamil Nadu. So, kitai, that is how they write. Now, when this ka comes between a word, then it becomes ga, but not in the beginning. So, they have no equivalent of Gita. One difficulty. Second difficulty is there is no Mahapran in Tamil Nadu. So, I am telling you, soft touch, hard touch. Ga is soft touch. Ka is hard touch. Then Mahapran. Mahapran means we let off a lot of air. That is called Mahapran. There also soft and hard. Soft Mahapran will be Gha. And hard Mahapran will be Kha. And the fifth sound is Anunasik. That means the final air does not, it's a mixture that it comes out partially from the nose also. So these are the 5 types of sound at each place. Now what the Tamilians do? They have no Mahapran. So if they have to pronounce Tha, they will combine one ta with another ta and say ta. Ta is not tha, please. Then somewhere soft predominate, that is gha, instead of soft Mahapran. The Mahapran itself predominates go. And there is no a. In Bengali, a becomes o. In Tamil Nadu, ha, visarga is not there at all. They will write visarga and they will etc. and ah. Instead of they will say go. I very distinctly remember in Nagpur, one Tamilian great scholar about Gita had come. And we had arranged his lecture in the ashram lecture hall. What happened? In the 9th chapter, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadagham Bhakti Upaghritam Ashnami Prayatatmanagha. That is how he pronounced. I still remember before 1978 this thing has happened. So I am pointing out not to criticize anybody. I know each language has its style, but they should understand this point. Another point about Tamil. They say we are special. Three types of L. Now this L is available in Marathi, Kannada also, please. In Hindi, North Indian languages, Hindi, Bengali, everything, there is, we write D with a point below. We call it Nukta. That makes D double soft. That means we are not touching there at all. L. Now, if we actually do not touch, it will become L. So the Vedas, the first mantra is Agni Mide Purohitam. Now, some people will say Agni Mide Purohitam. And this D with a Nukta, when the Bengalis try to express it in Roman scriptures, they write R. R. And this should not confuse us. Many times we have got the word Sihor. It is written S-I-H-A-R. Ha becomes Ho. And R is Sihoda. Sihoda. So, now in Tamil Nadu, T, K, like that they pronounce the Mahaprana. Now another difficulty this comes. They take the example of English the, and the is pronounced soft touch. So when Tamilians want to make any soft touch, they write H. In English, this is an exception. TH becomes the. But Tamilians adopt it everywhere, and it brings confusion or laughter in other people. If I write TH, H is used by all North Indian to express in English the Mahaprana. Ha. Ka plus Ha is Kha. So when they write TH, we will pronounce Tha. Now this Mat, M-A-T-H. I have heard Tamilians pronouncing it as math, because H is there. And Swami Vivekananda is writing from Belur Math or some Math. He knows that. So he is writing M-U-T-T, Mat, because there is no Mahaprana for the man who will understand that later. So please remember these things. Then one more thing in Tamil Nadu. They say this L, who are specialized in three pronunciation different. Now in Hindi and all North Indian languages, not in Marathi, it is D with a Nukta, D with a Nukta. L, D. Now, suppose we remove that Nukta and make it L, then L will not be different. Now Tamilians have a third L, and finding no letter suitable to express that in Roman language, Roman script, they have invented a Z, because Z normally the J, JH, Z. So that goes with that. So Z is not normally used, but it is used, zebra and all that. But they have used Z to express their third L. So we read in the newspapers, Dravida Munnetra Kazagam, that is how we read that. But the original word is Dravida Munnetra Kalagam. Kalagam. you have to pronounce G. And Z is for R. So I am describing all this for all the Indians to understand Paraspar's language, and also for the people using that language to tell them how the others look at it. Can they not correct it? Anyway, especially, I think I talked like this that day, someday, because the Keralites, I tried to study how the Malayalam language was produced. It's a new language. Now, Kerala is at the coast, west coast, south of Karnataka. So from Maharashtra or Goa or Karnataka, people went there. Even the Gujarat, Somnath, Saurashtra they call it. There, because the Muslims attacked so many times, so the people migrated along that line and they reached Tamil Nadu. They are called Saurashtra as a caste within Tamil Nadu. Okay? Now, that is Tamil Nadu. I am talking of Kerala now. Now, so from north people came. From Tamil Nadu, there is a hill range. And they crossed those hills and went to Kerala. And the first coming in of the Christians was in Kerala. Thomas, direct disciple of Jesus Christ, he came there. And so, Syrian Christians they are called, from Syria. Now these three languages, that means Tamil, Sanskrit and Syrian language, they were mixed and this Kerala language was born. Now, they tried to imitate the Tamilians. These days they understood that. For example, there is a Ramakrishna mission near Kottayam. The place name was previously called Palai, following the Tamilian method of I. Nowadays they call it Pala. Now, I have an appeal to make to the Malayalis. Please remove this edge. You have Mahaprana. The Kerala script is directly based upon the Sanskrit script. You have a Mahaprana there. So don't use H for making soft. You have all the soft letters. You have all the 5 letters. Then that is one thing. Anyway, so it came from me that at the base of all languages, there is a sound. I was talking about Om. So now I want to produce a sound which is a combination of all sounds. That means sound has to touch every point of the sound box before it comes out. What will be the sound? Oo. Oo will be the sound. Those who want to refer, Swami Vivekananda in his Bhakti Yoga has explained this Om. The word, etc., the name of the chapter. So, now, and how we end the sound process? When we close the lips. And when we close the lips, what will the sound? Here again, I refer to the Bengalis. Anunasika, Sanskrit is written with a point on that letter. And the Sanskrit Vyakaran tells us that this point is equivalent to Now there is no in Bengali. They pronounce it as N, Kakha, Ga, Ga, N. And they write Anusar in their own style. and say it is. No. Now here some more difficulty comes. Because the pranava itself is Om. I am explaining that now. Now the Bengalis say Om, Om, Om. Then they are asking me which is right. I tell them there is nothing right or wrong. You have to understand the Bengalis call this Om. And joking with Bengalis, I will say, there is no A. If you have already said O, then combining with U, what will happen? Anyway, I think I have described in great detail today. I think once more I had talked like this may be a repetition, how people of all languages should understand each other, how they should pronounce so that others will understand, how the Bengali should not keep any doubt in the mind our pronunciation is right or wrong, and they should say Om, Om, same meaning. Okay? So, let me tell you a story. I think this also I might have told. Most revered Swami Yatishwarananda ji had come to Nagpur. And he had given initiation to a lot of people. And the Bengalis, they wanted him to give a talk to them in Bengali. He was also a Bengali. And we, the sadhus who understood Bengali by then, also were sitting in that class. And the first sentence which he said, Amra to deha noy, Amra atma. I immediately understood that he is telling Atma. But another thing I understood, that my Guruji, who was also a Bengali, from him I have never heard this Atma. So after his talk, I went to Guruji and asked, how it is that I have never heard Atma from you? He told me, I was also having same type of pronunciation. But after coming to Nagpur, I saw that you Marathis have correct Sanskrit pronunciation. Now hearing me, you should not spoil your language. You should not spoil your pronunciation. So I made a deliberate attempt and changed my pronunciation. This is called working in a place. This is called Guru. My pronunciation, if you try to copy, you will spoil your correct Sanskrit pronunciation. You should not do that. So I made an effort and changed them to Sanskrit pronunciation. Now it caused some fun also. In Bengali, how a compound letter is pronounced? They will write very correctly according to Sanskrit. But pronouncing Lakshana, they will say Lakhana. Lakshmana, they will say Lakhana. Now, my Guruji, having changed his pronunciation, when he went to Belur Math, revered Madhavananji was the General Secretary, and there was another revered Swami, most really Raghupati Maharaj. And while talking about some sadhu, my Maharaj said, or Lakshan bhalo nai. His characteristics are not good. Nirmal Maharaj said, Madhavananji, sunecho, Vipradas Lakshan bolche. That means Lakhan bolche na. Anyway, so these are the different things. I am not talking to deride anybody, not criticizing anybody. There are features, there are local features. And so these are the languages made. And so I will finish with one more comment, please. Somebody wrote an article in the Marathi magazine Jivan Vikas that Sanskrit is the mother of all North Indian languages. And for South Indian languages, even if it is not the mother, it is the Dhatri, the maid servant, who helps the growth of the child. That means lot of Tamil words are from Sanskrit. I will tell my funny experience there. When I was in the Ramakrishna, excuse me, I am going astray a little, but important things I am telling. When I was in the Ramakrishna Mission student, so every day I used to take a small, no, in the shrine, I used to talk a little. Now, when I used to, I did not know Tamil, little I had known, and I believed that I was talking in English. Now, suppose some word does not click, then I would say the Sanskrit equivalent. And 99% the students will say, yes, 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 this is Tamil word. Now, sometimes by uttering a Sanskrit word, it failed to produce any click in them. Then I told them a Sanskrit word which is not often used. And they said, yes, yes, this is Tamil. So, my conclusion was, when I reached Tamil Nadu, my impression was that there are 30% words in Tamil Nadu which are from the Sanskrit origin. As I lived there, I saw 50% are Sanskrit origin. After 10 years, I understood 90% words of Tamil have the Sanskrit root. They don't want to accept it, let it go. And so, let it go, let it go. This is enough. So, we are back to, now I'm not, let me tell, I'm not criticizing anybody. If anybody feels hurt, please excuse me. I'm telling this because I have traveled throughout India. Now let me talk about the Marathis. Marathis, as Maharaj said, you, Sanskrit is correct. Marathis have a special abhiman that our Sanskrit is correct. And one letter they produce wrongly. There is a Sanskrit word, gya. Gya means, that is how the North Indians pronounce it. And Maharashtrians pronounce it as if the plus na plus yo, Jnaneshwar. And they think that Jna is correct and this Gya is wrong. In the south, if you go, they say Gnana, Gana. Now, why all this? Because the original sound is little difficult to pronounce. And that is Ja plus Ya. Those who have studied Sanskrit in Kashi, they pronounce correctly. We had a Swami. He has passed away long back, Prabhakar Maharaj in Nagpur, Jnana Rupananda. He used to say Jam. So to Marathis I am telling, do not be over proud. And we say Tajna, Tajna. Expert in that field, Tajna. Now if it was Jna, then Tad would remain as it is. It would become Tajna. But it is Tajna. Because Ja plus Ya, so previous the becomes Ja, according to Sanskrit rules. Anyway, so this is to the Marathis. I do not know much about other languages. Anyway, funny things if I tell you. The Punjabis, two extremes, Punjabi and Tamil Nadu, geographically, but they have the same problem. Bhaka Sanjam, what it is? Bhaka Sanjam, Bhasha Sanyam, grammar, book on grammar. Bhasha Sanyam. They will pronounce Bhaka Sanjam. Anyway, okay? So everybody should understand this. The great Pranava sound, which is the aggregate of, so understood? Om, the meaning is, if Ka, Ka, Ga mean different objects, then U means all the varieties taken together. Now, it is a surprising a little that how Ka, Ka, Ga can be in U. But if you go to the basics, you will understand who is a sound where we have touched every portion of the sound box. And when we are touching every portion, there is no soft or hard or anunasik. Anunasik is at the end. So, Om will mean, we may say the first meaning is that totality of all the varieties of the objects of this world. But the rishis tell us that is too gross a meaning. Om is a big philosophy. Om is telling you that whatever you see in the world is nothing but a empty sound. There is a reality at the back, and that is why you are seeing these objects. So they say the first meaning of Om is the reality which is the background of this world. We will call that as Saguna Brahma. Reality which is behind this world. That is the first meaning. Suppose our mind has gone into that reality. The Rishi's mind has gone into the reality and is experiencing that reality. Then there is no world. And if there is no world, how to call that reality as the background of the world? So that is the nature of reality. That is why Om meaning is the nearest and unspecified name of Saguna and Nirguna Brahma both. That is described in Prashnopanishad, Kathopanishad, and in many places. So, here, Pranava sound, which is the aggregate of all the different sounds of the universe. Okay, aggregate. Some of us heard this from the Master himself and also heard him say that he could at that time understand the meanings of the cries of all animals. So this is too Siddha idea. Because he heard the Anahata sound, which is at the base of the universe, so the birds also are talking with each other. Their language or vocabulary might have been limited, and we hear only chirper, we do not understand. But as that is coming out of the universal sound, Thakur could understand their meaning. Thakur could understand the meaning of all living beings because the word they talk come from the same Anahata Pranava. Not the gross Pranava which we see or hear, but from the basic Omkar, their sounds or their language, different language in different birds, different animals. But all of them, because this Om is the background of the whole universe, all their sounds, the meaning is understood by sadhakas, if you say, like Thakur. Those who have reached the base of the universe. So that is, in this one para, it has given us two powers of Thakur, 24. During that, the vision about the worthlessness of miraculous powers. So all these are miraculous powers. And as far as spiritual life is concerned, they are worthless. And so that also Thakur saw very graphically. During that period, the master saw the Divine Mother herself dwelling in the female form. In the latter part of this period, the master felt in himself the presence of the miraculous powers, like the one of becoming as small as an atom. So here we are gone to another field. The yoga describes vibhutis, 8 vibhutis. I hope I am not repeating the whole thing. Hmm. Oh, now, though this is interactive, I cannot hear what you are saying. Anyway, please listen to it once more. Huh? Yes. No go. No go. The master felt in himself the presence of the miraculous powers, like the one of becoming as small as an atom. The 8 vibhutis, anima, lagima, I am not going to describe them. But one is becoming as small, one is becoming as big, one is becoming light, one is becoming subtle, like that. It includes control of the other's mind and all that. So he felt within himself that these powers have come. One day he went at the instance of Hriday. When Hriday came to know, he was a cross-minded person. So he pressed Thakur, asked Mother about these powers. One day he went at the instance of Hriday to the Universal Mother to know the propriety and utility of applying them, and saw that they were to be shunned and discarded like excreta. In Bengali, it is like the excreta of a prostitute. When Thakur wanted to know what the Holy Mother, Divine Mother is telling about it, he saw before his eyes a odd-looking prostitute passing stools in front of him. And the Divine Mother is pointing out, it is like those stools. So the permanent abhorrence for the powers came in Thakur. People these days call him a God man who has some little power about this. So, in English, shunned and discarded like excreta. This is the Bengali original. The master said that since then it appeared loathsome to him to hear the term miraculous powers. The masters talked with Swami Vivekananda about the 8 miraculous powers. We are reminded of one thing about the master's possession of the 8 miraculous powers. One day he called Swami Vivekananda privately to the Panchavati and said, look here. Look here, I have got the well-known 8 miraculous powers. But I decided long ago that I will never make use of them, nor do I see any need for applying them. You will have to do many things like preaching religion. I have made up my mind to give them to you. Here they are. The Swami said to him in reply, Sir, will these help me in any way to realizing God? Help me in any way to realize God. When afterwards he came to know from the master's reply that although they could be of some help in such activities as preaching religion, they would not in any way assist him in realizing God. Assist him in realizing any way God. He declined to accept them. At which the Swami told us afterward the master was highly pleased with him. So, side by side, Saradananda Swami just said how the mind should be focused, nothing in between. If it is helpful, then I may take it, otherwise not. So many things come to the mind. Let us read. 26. His vision of the deluding power, power of the universal mother. There arose in the master's mind during this period a desire to see the deluding power of the mother of the universe. When he saw that a female figure of extraordinary beauty rose from the waters of the Ganga and came with a dignified gait to the Panchavati. Presently he saw that the said figure was in an advanced stage of pregnancy. A few minutes later he saw that she gave birth to a beautiful baby in his very presence and suckled the baby very affectionately. The next moment he saw that the same figure assumed a very cruel and frightful appearance and taking the baby into her mouth, masticated it and swallowed it. She then entered the waters of the river whence she had appeared. So this is the vision of the Maya Shakti in actual gross form. So the Maya Shakti loves all, is affectionate to all, and we feel very happy, and then she becomes terrible and kills all of us. Kills means she masticates and swallows. We have seen this in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The beauty of Shodashi, the Mahavidya. Now, this Divine Mother has 10 different powers, not these 8 powers, and according to them, 10 different forms. That is called Mahavidya. And we have seen there was a Mahavidya temple and Thakur used to visit it. Beside the visions mentioned above, there was no limit to the number of the Devi's forms, ranging from the 2 arm to the 10 arm that he saw during this period. So, if we see some form, we are not wrong. All forms are Devi's form. Again, some of those engaged themselves in conversing with him and gave him various instructions. Although all those forms of hers were of extraordinary beauty, we were told by him that they were not worth comparison in that respect with that of Sri Rajarajeshwari, otherwise called Shodashi. Shodashi means a girl of 16 years, a girl in the prime of her youth. Other name is Rajarajeshwari. To people in the south and north also, she is more known as Lalita, and where Lalita Sahasranam. So, this is the Rajarajeshwari Lalita Shodashi. The master said, I saw in a vision the beauty of the person of Shodashi, which melted and spread all around, illumining the quarters. The beauty is melted and spreading. At that time, the master had the visions of various male figures, like Bhairava, and also visions of celestial beings, Siddhacharan, etc., and Bhairava, etc., demigods. At that time, the master had the visions of, from the time of his tantric sadhana, there were so many extraordinary visions and experience in the master's life, day after day, that it is beyond the power of man to mention all of them. It is therefore needless to spend any more time in making that attempt. As the result of tantric sadhana, the master became free from body consciousness and attained a childlike nature. That is the main thing. We have read this certainly. We heard from the master himself that From the time of his tantric sadhana, the orifice, means hole, of his sushumna was fully opened and his nature was permanently converted into that of a boy. That means without any ego. That is the meaning. And depending upon the mother always. From the latter part of that period, he could not, in spite of his efforts, retain his cloth. No body consciousness. Cloth is retained by the friction with the body. Sacred thread, etc., on his person for any length of time. Sacred thread he could not keep because he is not a Brahmin. He has gone beyond that. He did not feel where and when all these things slipped out. That means he did not throw it, it went away. It is previously in beginning of meditation is to remove, but now it went out. It is needless to mention that this condition was caused by the absence in him of body consciousness on account of his mind remaining always absorbed in the lotus feet of the Divine Mother. We have it from the Master himself that unlike the ordinary Paramahamsas, he never practiced wandering or remaining naked. It naturally came to him with his gradually loss of body consciousness. So other Paramahamsas practiced it. He did not have to practice. He became a Paramahamsa, so automatically this came. The master said that at the end of those disciplines, his knowledge of non-duality with regard to all things increased so much that he felt that those things which he considered to be trifling and worth discarding from his childhood now appear to be as pure as the purest. So, Tantra sadhana is to lead a man through worship of God as Mother to Advaita. That is prudent Thakur's life. And Advaita means Samabuddhi. All are manifestations of Brahman. Maybe little variation of Sattva Raja Tamo. He asserted the holy basil, Tulsi, and the legumen of Sajna, drumstick, were felt by me to be equally holy. The splendor of the master's person during tantric sadhana. Again, the splendor of the master's person increased so much for a few years from that time that he became the cynosure of all eyes of all times. As he was devoid of egoism, he was so much annoyed at it that he prayed on many occasions to the Divine Mother to be rid of that celestial beauty. And imploringly said, Mother, I have not the slightest need of this external beauty. People should not be attracted to me by external beauty. They should see me inside and be attracted. Please take it away and give me instead the inward spiritual beauty. We have told the reader elsewhere that this prayer of his was fulfilled afterwards. Just as the Brahmani helped the master in his tantric sadhanas, so did the master help the Brahmani later. This was seen in Guru Apurvada. In developing her spiritual life, we have already given an indication of the fact that but for the master's help, she could not have established herself in the divine mood. So she was expert in Virabha, but Thakur helped her to go to Divyabha. The name of the Brahmani was Yogeshwari, who the master said was a part of Yoga Maya, the mystic Parvati. Yoga Maya means the combination of Sattva Raja Tama is called Yoga Maya. And she was a form of Yoga Maya. So she helped Thakur and Thakur helped her and she attained her own real nature. Attaining divine powers on account of his tantric sadhana, the master came to know another thing. He came to know by the grace of the Divine Mother that many persons would come in later days to him and get spiritual enlightenment from him, and thus their life's purpose would be fulfilled. He told this to Hriday and also to Mathur, who was greatly devoted to him. Mathur replied, "How very good, father! We shall all make merry in your company." But they came after Mathur had passed. Oh, I think I repeated. Please excuse me. Om Sarvadharmastapakastam Sarvadharmaswarupakah Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishna Te Namaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.